The Canon EOS C50 is here, and after spending an enjoyable but short time with it, I'm happy to share some footage and my initial findings about this new camera with you guys. And while on it, why not enable push notification on the new CineD app to stay on top of things? Hi guys, I'm Johnny from CineD, and today on my table is a camera that in my opinion is set to shake up the filmmaking market by bringing compact size, features like internal 7K 12-bit RAW recording, even in 3x2 open gate, and all at a price point we haven't seen from Canon in its EOS cinema line before. And this alone might make the camera very appealing to many. Let's be direct and say that for too long the Sony FX3 has dominated the segment of compact, capable, well-priced cinema cameras. Now, for the first time there is a true competitor. Is it a better choice than the Sony FX3? Well, the Canon EOS C50 has its shortcomings, which we will talk about in a moment, but depending on your filming needs and style, when you look at the included features and final price, it seems to offer better value for money compared to the aging FX3. It is also worth mentioning that at the time of recording this video, Canon announced a firmware update for several of their cameras, most notably the EOS C400, which will now get a 3x2 open gate recording as well. If you own a EOS C70 or C80, unfortunately you are out of luck for now. Before diving into talking about the camera, here's a short mini documentary I shot at the beautiful, peaceful Kiso Valley in Japan. I took a long train ride to meet Kana, who moved from Tokyo to a village by the name Okuwa. She bought a 150-year-old house, rebuilt it, and soon will be welcoming guests to experience complete, unconditional tranquility. So, mini doc first, and then back to talk about the camera. Okuwa is a small village with about 3,200 inhabitants situated in the Kiso Valley, about 3.5 hours away from Osaka or 3 hours from Tokyo. Coming to it feels like arriving at the end of the world.
End of the world?
End of the world. Like
That should be the beginning of the world.
Nothing here. How do you fill up your time here? What do you do here?
How do I fill up my time?
Yeah.
There's not enough time, Johnny. I think it's this valley, this place might have felt like the end of the world for you, but for me, it felt like, what did it feel like? It felt right. Yeah. There's everything, but there's nothing. It's kind of funny to say, but it has everything. But you know what we think, like city people think, everything is not here, like restaurants, cafes, and museums, and all these amenities that city offers. There's none of that. So yeah, it really felt remote, but because there's none of these things, it also felt like there was so much potential and possibilities, if that makes sense.
Last time that we met, it was 5 years ago, and at that time you were still happy puppy in Tokyo. And now,
I guess, happy, yes, yeah.
And now suddenly I find it in a completely different place. So let's start one by one. Why did you leave Tokyo?
I guess 5 years ago I was still living in Tokyo, but I moved to this little village because I was working so much, and at some point I experienced, I guess, most severe sort of burnout that I had never experienced before. And I had to take some time off from work. And that time I really thought about, okay, you know, I'm getting older, just like everyone, and how do I want to live the rest of my life? I think I asked that question when I finally had time to think. This idea of living in countryside, surrounded by the mountains, which I love, that was always kind of my dream for a long time. I just thought, you know, maybe now is the time. Because, you know, before I moved, I didn't know it was going to be successful. Maybe I wouldn't like, there's a chance that I didn't like it, and I want to go back to Tokyo. But after 3 years, I know, okay, this is happening. I'm a villager now. Look at this, wow.
Wow. The colors and...
So many people. In Okuwa, or I think in Nagano in general, there are so many beautiful ravines, like rivers, and yeah, all these like natural resources. So the place we went to is one of the closest ravines from where I live, and you saw the color of the water. It's almost unreal. It's almost like fake or photoshopped or something. It's so green or blue, or I don't know exactly what color that is, but it's just so beautiful. And it's not that crowded, right? But this is the most crowded time of the year in the village. Usually there's hardly anyone, and you could just have the entire river to yourself. When I think about community back in Tokyo, you know, there's a running club community, there's maybe like an art community. There's something that you intentionally join. But here, if you live here, automatically you're part of this community, and I guess that feels good. I have, you know, some local friends that I made in the village. Some of them are doing really interesting things, like the place we went to today. It's a friend's mother. She's a translator of kids' books, and she ended up with like more than 2,000 books. So she decided to buy one of those old houses in the main street. She made this one of the main rooms into a community library kind of space. So those people tend to be similar to my situation. They used to live in big cities. They came to the village for whatever reasons that they have, and you know, these people, I don't know, I think they need to be doing something interesting. I think it's easier for me to connect with these people, and they're fun to hang out with. first moved here, I purchased this kominka, which is a traditional old Japanese house that is almost nearly 160 years old, with a good friend of mine. So we purchased this house, and this is another thing I had always wanted to do, renovation of these traditional houses. So this was, I think it was kind of like my dream was coming true. So I got this house to do it up, right? So it's been 3 years since I moved here. I've been renovating this house, which is quite a big gig, I guess. So yeah, you can't really see now, but this house has transformed quite a bit. It was really very satisfying. Sometimes it was too difficult. Things are not going to the way I wanted it to be, and I just wanted to cry and just run away a few times. but generally speaking, it's been really rewarding, and it's been fun and challenging. And I still work for the same company that I was working for back in Tokyo, just in a different style, I guess. I work pretty much 100% remotely, except for occasional business trips, and not too committed in the way that I was back in Tokyo, to the level that I make myself burn out. So yeah, it's a good balance. I still enjoy working with the team, and it's nice to have this connection with Tokyo, like big city, while I'm in this remote village. In my life, there's always been changes, and I've lived in so many different places, and the longest place I've ever stayed at was the last apartment, which is like only 5 years, right? So in 5 years' time, I don't know if I'm still here. I will still have it, but yeah, will I be living in this house, or maybe in the neighborhood? I don't know. So sort of like, yeah, I think I have to see and how it goes, go with the flow. But I think it'll be exciting from next year on.
Thank you, Kana, for opening your house to me. As always, it's a pleasure to see and talk to you. Okay, so the EOS C50 is here, and in my opinion, Canon hit the nail on the head by bringing a very capable compact camera to the market. If only it had an EVF and IBIS, it would have been a perfect filming machine. But for now, let's focus on what it does have rather than what it's missing. So this is the smallest camera in Canon's cinema line, and the big news is its new 7K full-frame sensor paired with Canon's trusted Digic DV7 processor. This lets you use the full width and height of the sensor to record in 3x2 open gate, shoot internal RAW up to 7K 30p, and record full frame up to 60p. The camera can also handle high frame rate up to 4K 120p or even 2K at 180p. And of course, you can take 32 megapixels still photo with it, but the main focus here is professional filmmaking. So why 3x2 open gate such a big thing? Well, there are two main reasons. First, you can film with an aspherical lens in this format and later reframe your shot in post to fit your delivery needs, whether vertical or horizontal. Second, if you're using an anamorphic lenses, you will capture the maximum possible vertical information, which is then stretched to its full width, giving the classic cinematic look. Canon also lets you squeeze the image in the LCD or EVF for the most common ratios like 1:3, 1:5, 1:8 and 2 times. Now, like any other modern camera, the EOS C50 offers a wide variety of codecs, resolutions and frame rates. The thing is, it feels like there is a blanket effect. When you pull in on one end, the other side suffers. For example, if you want to record in RAW at 3x2 open gate, digital stabilization cannot be activated, which is understandable. But why it's not available when filming in a compressed codec? Another example? Okay, when you're filming in 4K 120 frames per second, you cannot use magnification to check focus, which is not ideal when working with manual lenses. There are more examples like this, but overall, once you adjust to working around some of these limitations, this camera is a joy to use. I would like to highlight a few more things. First, like with any other Canon camera, the images it produces are simply gorgeous. On top of that, the camera comes with a top XLR hand grip, wisely included by Canon, so that the audio side of your production is not neglected. I worked with the camera outdoors for many hours in very hot temperatures and didn't experience any issues with overheating. As I'm not a DP who uses camera cages, I really appreciate that the camera body has 4 connecting points. That allowed me to easily attach the Kinefinity Eagle HDMI viewfinder directly. The dual GaN base ISO is also very handy with values of 800 and 6400. Last but not least, yes, the camera comes with a shutter angle option, so you don't have to worry about adjusting shutter speed settings when changing frame rates. The same goes for ClearScan, which helps eliminate flicker when adjusting to different screen frequencies. So how does the camera stand against the competition, namely the Sony FX3? The EOS C50 outperforms the Sony in almost every way, except stabilization, since the FX3 sensor itself is stabilized. And for photographers, the Sony FX3 does have a mechanical shutter. Other than that, the Canon camera comes in cheaper than the Sony, especially with the included XLR top handle, offers higher recording resolution, has internal 12-bit RAW recording, and most noticeably a 3x2 open gate option. What the new camera is really missing is an EVF and IBIS. Hopefully, Canon will consider making a small EVF that can connect directly to the camera. As for stabilization, I don't want to go into the digital versus IBIS debate, but it would be great if digital stabilization worked in 3x2 open gate when filming in the compressed video file. Okay, moving on. Please note that at the time of recording this video, unlike DaVinci Resolve, the latest version of Adobe Premiere cannot properly read OpenGate RAW files. This means that I had to convert all my footage to ProRes, knowing I'd be losing the flexibility of adjusting clips, but for now, it is what it is. At least when recording in RAW, the camera offers the possibility to record proxies on a second card. But remember this blanket effect I mentioned? Switch to OpenGate XF HEVC-S, and recording proxies at a lower resolution or bitrate is not possible. Final thoughts. The Canon EOS C50 is one of the most likable and capable cameras I've tested recently. Its physical size is just right. The included XLR top handle is a bonus for professional work, and looking at the overall feature it offers for the price, I'm sure that Canon has a winner here. Canon, well done. And briefly before I move forward, I promised to share with you what equipment I use in the mini dock. So first of all, I use the Cirrus. This is the Iron Star anamorphic lenses, 1.5 squeeze, the 60mm and the 45. Really nice lenses, doesn't flare too hard. I like the aesthetic all in all, and the only thing that might be a bit difficult is the 95 diameter for ND filters. If you're working with a camera that has ND filter built in, not an issue, but here, if you buy the kit of those lenses, Zero is supplying the all vari ND filters, so that was rather easy. But all in all, those lenses are really working well. Let me just put this aside. I also used the Kinefinity Eagle. This is the HDMI viewfinder. I like it, but two things quickly to note. One, the diopter, I'm using glasses or contact lenses. Somehow it's always twisted. I couldn't fix it and let it stay for the diopter I need. And the other thing, the quality of the glass or plastic, whatever is here, is just okay. I mean, the screen is fine. I just wish that there was a higher quality glass here, and that would be really nice. And for audio, I use the Saramonic K9s. For $999, you get 2 transmitter and 1 receiver. You can also record 32-bit internally, depending where you are in the world. So this is a very robust dual channel, and the app is really great. I mean, with the app, you can do so many things and control this, and it's very useful. The last thing that I want to say about the camera is that we will, of course, test it in our lab when the production model becomes available. But for now, that's it. So thank you very much for watching, and please don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thank you, guys.